Yeah.
But yeah, Kirk and I, we go way back, man. We played junior college together. We ran across each other. I don't know, growing like in
High school.
in high school, just just all that other stuff, before I don't
Before
know.
life got hold of us.
Yeah, life kind of got hold of us and everything, man. But yeah, man. I just first, Curtis, want to say thank you for allowing us to come up here, man. And um, I know time is something. I said it before. Time is something we don't get back, and I just appreciate you kind of making the time for us and
Yeah,
inviting us in
absolutely.
your beautiful home here, man.
My
For
pleasure, for
yeah,
sure.
for Chase and I to kind of sit down with you and kind of catch up with some things. And I know we were kind of off camera. We're talking about a little bit, Kirk, that kind of what we did and everything. I know you follow the podcast and what we do and everything. And if uh, if you're comfortable with doing, I know you. Again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I don't know if you in your past have struggled with addiction and everything. But I know as innately humans, we struggle with things that are human, whether you're a drug addict or you're not a drug addict. And I know you run your own business, and being married and all these other things. So really, just kind of when things get stressful for you, Kirk, how does one kind of navigate those waters, man? Or how do you navigate those waters?
And like you said earlier, there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah,
I mean, life's one day at a time.
yeah,
And we get caught up in thinking about tomorrow,
yeah,
thinking about next month, next week. Hey, we
mm-hmm,
got to get this done. But
yeah,
life's one day at a time.
yeah,
And that's something really in the last couple of years that I've focused on is I got to get through today.
yeah,
You know, guys will come to work. What are we doing tomorrow? What we got next? I'm like, look, it's 12 o'clock.
yeah,
We got to get through today.
yeah,
Yep.
And that's how you have to live life. I feel like is one day at a time because we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
yeah,
What you do today, what you do right now matters most right now.
yeah,
And that's something that's really helped me to kind of wrangle in the stress of life
yeah,
is it's one day at a time, it's one moment at a time.
mm-hmm,
When you get that special moment, live in it.
mm-hmm,
That might be it.
yeah,
We're not guaranteed anything. We're not owed anything.
mm-mm,
Me and my wife sat out right out there last night, had a fire, sipped on some bourbon,
yeah,
and we just enjoyed our moment.
yeah,
Had a long week, just cut loose and had us a nice moment.
yeah,
And that's what I think. The world's so fast and it's so here and now.
mm-hmm,
You have to slow down. You
yeah,
have
Yeah.
to live in the moment.
yeah,
And I think that when you really think about it, that'll really go a long way. My dad's had leukemia for about
mm-hmm,
16 years.
yeah,
2 weeks ago, he got a tracheotomy and a feeding tube,
mm-hmm,
and he's got throat cancer, stage 3 right now. Start treatment next week, and I was over there on a Thursday, two weeks ago. Me and him were talking,
mm-hmm,
just chilling. I haven't talked to him since, or he hasn't spoke to me since, because he can't.
mm-hmm,
You know, that Thursday moment, I got it.
yeah,
I was able to have that moment.
yeah,
You always kind of think, and I know you know this. Dad'll be there. He'll be there. He'll be there.
uh-huh,
One day he won't.
mm-hmm,
You
yeah,
know, and fortunately, my dad's still here. He's fighting like a son of a bitch,
yeah,
and he's the toughest man I know.
yeah,
But one day that truth will come.
yeah,
He won't be here, and
mm-hmm,
it's about the moment,
yeah.
living in that moment.
Yeah, I got you. And I'm glad you said that, Kurt. But having those moments in which you were just talking about, what has that taught you? How can you relate that or take that approach to your life? Having that moment with your dad, because like I said, this nice house, your business, all this can be gone like that. So how do you kind of take that moment and appreciate that? You're talking about everything was so fast. So what do you do, or you and your wife do? I know you spoke a little bit, but can you go into a little bit more detail on like how you kind of slow yourself, make yourself slow yourself down?
We're, as humans, we're creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you go back to addiction and stuff like that,
Yeah.
we're creatures of habit. Whatever becomes a habit in your life, we're habitual in everything we do, from taking a shower, brushing our teeth, drinking alcohol, taking drugs, going to work, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But those habits that give us pleasure, satisfaction, stuff like that become more prevalent and more important. So slowing down, taking time for yourself, for us, that's one of our habits that we work hard, man. I get up at 3:30. I go to the gym every morning. Come home, we start our day. You know, it could be 2 o'clock, it could be 6 o'clock, and get home. But when we get home, we eat dinner together. That, you know, no matter what's going on, no matter what invoices or estimates need to be done, no matter the garbage needs. All right, when we're home, we're gonna eat dinner as a family. You know, let's slow down. Let's take our day. It's closing down, and let's fix dinner. Let's spend some time together. And you know, on the weekends, we try not to do a lot. Work sometimes, but on the weekends, it's our time. Hey, you want to watch football? You want to go swimming? There's just it. You take life and you kind of shut it down, and not shut it out necessarily, but those moments, you got to capture those moments.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like they're penciled in on a calendar.
Yeah.
And you know, oh, on the 16th at 2 p.m. you're gonna have a moment. No, you got to be ready. You got to be ready for it.
Yeah.
You know, because it could happen Sunday at 3:30.
Yeah.
Hey, at 12 o'clock you get a phone call. Can you capture a moment?
Yeah.
You got time to sit down and capture a moment? Let's go. Like,
Yeah, man.
that's almost like a perfect example right there.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
be available and just be in the moment.
Yeah. I got you, man. And I know you're talking about, you know, you work a lot. And so how do you kind of separate your work and your home life, man? How do you not like, because I know, and I'll just give you an example. Like sometimes it consumes me. If I'm not really intentional about something, I'll let it consume me, and I will not stop thinking about it. Chase,
I had to shut him down the other morning because we've got multiple people calling us for this and that, and he's like, we're on the way to a job the other morning with Chris. He's like, dude, what are we gonna do about it? I was like, dude, let's just get the day done.
Yep.
Like, let's go focus on what we got to focus on, and then we'll worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll go measure out the job. We'll go estimate. We'll do whatever. I'll sit. You know, he had to go spend some time with his family, and so I went to the showroom and went up and did a design estimate and all that. We'll get it done.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then after that, we gotta wait. So there's nothing really.
Wait.
Yeah, there's nothing really. It's like people want so much out of you, but you can only do so much.
That's right.
You're one person. I mean, when you got two people, you got crews
but you're
and
still
stuff.
two people.
Yeah.
But it's still like, and then even if you got a crew, well, they're one person. Yeah, you're a team, but you gotta evaluate things the best you can.
Yep.
Some things go right, some things go perfect.
Yep.
Not everything's perfect, but you know what I mean.
Oh,
It's like, dang, today went all right. You know.
When you have those good days, you love on them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That moment, you're like, dang, today was a good day.
Yeah.
Like, and then the next day, you're like, ah.
What happened?
It's like, oh, golly, man. Like,
Yeah.
but no, you have to. I don't know, man. I like kind of what you're saying there, just because like Chris, I have to really center myself into like, chill out, calm down. Like, you can't. There's nothing, and that's where I've been working on too. Is like, there's nothing I can do about some things. So like,
That's right.
you can't let it eat you up. You just have to go with the flow.
Yep. And like, kind of going back to what Chris said about separating work and home. So obviously my work is here. I have my shop at my house,
Yeah.
and we're a service business. You know, we're 24/7. Anybody could call it anytime. So
Yeah.
it's always work. But a couple of years ago, I really was struggling. I was overwhelmed. You know, my business had grown. Probably we started in 19 and 22. We probably grew 40% from 19.
Dang.
And it was that fast, you know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I couldn't get everything done in a day, but I'm sitting here like, how am I going to get all this done this year? And it consumed me. It was tough. Like it broke me almost. Like Jackie can tell you, I was like, hey, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Like, I'd rather go 9 to 5 it, come home and be done, because like this is killing me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, those 7 o'clock phone calls, the 10 o'clock texts, like it just never stopped. And it just came to a point where I was like, all right, I have to separate work and business. So at 3:30 in the morning, my phone's on, I'm ready to roll. If you want to talk, let's talk.
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock, whether I'm done working in home or not, at 5 o'clock, I'm done taking calls from new people.
Yeah.
If like we do a lot of rental properties, if you're a rental property client and you have something going on, you'll be taken care of. But new people past 5 o'clock, call Monday. Call Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 to 4, 8 to 5. And, you know, you can't call Lowe's at 9 o'clock at night and say, hey, I need this. And they just show up and do it, you know?
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be the best.
Yeah.
And that's in who I am as a person. Like, I'm going to strive to be the best I can be, no matter what it is. If it's cutting the grass, playing ball, swimming, I mean, drinking beer, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be the best.
Yeah.
And that I had to mold that mentality a little bit to get it to where, hey, I can still be the best, but at work, I'm at home. Like now I have to be the best at home.
Yeah, I got to be the best husband
because
now.
You know, my wife's over here and she's not getting any time with me, and she's getting upset because all I'm doing is working, which I'm working to provide for us, and she understands that. But at the same time, tomorrow's not guaranteed. Where's those moments? And we missed out on a lot of moments because I was so engulfed in work. And not that it didn't pay off. And I like reading and watching podcasts. And I heard a guy say one time, you gotta put in some uncomfortable years to get to the comfortable years. And that's kind of like where we were. But at the same time, like, you can't destroy yourself to get to where you're going.
Yeah. You can't kill yourself to get it. Because like you said, tomorrow's not promised, man.
Yeah.
I know where you said, like, you know, it almost destroyed you, Kurt. Like, when was, like, the moment you're like, okay, like, something's got to change?
Dude, for real. I was in there, and I was propped up on the counter, and, like, I was just tore up, and, like, I just started crying. And Jackie come in, she's like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I went and got in bed, and I cried. And because I started this business because it's what I wanted. It was my dream.
Yeah.
And here I am 2-3 years into this business, and it's successful. It's not because I was failing.
Yeah.
But here I am 2-3 years in, successful, and I feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And it was just so much on me. And told her, I said, I'm done. Like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
And look, like, I got great crew that works for me, great guys, great girls. And, like, this business wouldn't be successful without them.
Absolutely.
And I need to make sure that that's said, because it's not just me.
Yeah.
Like, this business can go on without me because of them, you know what I mean? And, like, and that's, it's a team. Everything, it's a team. I mean, it goes back to sports when you're a kid. Like, you know, you think about your coach riding your ass. Like, why is he on me so much? Because he wants you to be better.
Better, yeah.
And because he knows in 20 years, they're gonna be coming for you. They're gonna be gunning for you,
Yeah.
and if you
and life don't give you a break. Like he's
No.
on, you know.
no, yeah, it ain't over at 4 o'clock when he blows the whistle. Like that motherfucker's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
And like he knew that. He knew that when he was pushing us though.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, what coach was giving us was just a teaser. He knew that if he could get that little bit of, hey, you got to have this determination. You got to push through this uncomfortable. He knew that would give us a chance.
Yeah.
Because he knew he's been there. He knew and you can't prepare anybody for that life experience.
No.
That's something every one of us have to experience on our own.
Yeah.
And but that moment, going back to that, like I was in the kitchen and I broke down, man. Like I almost like an anxiety attack. And it was really that moment I was like, all right, like work's got to stop at some point. Like I can work hard, I can give it 100%, but at some point it's got to stop so that Kurt Zazota can live his life that he worked so hard for.
Yeah.
And not going on extravagant trips or anything. We're sitting in the backyard.
Yeah.
But that's what's important, you know?
Yeah.
And if you go on trips and you travel and you do that, cool, that's you.
Yeah.
Like, we're homebodies.
Yeah.
That moment in the backyard or in the swimming pool or over at the pond fishing, like, those moments, that's what was missing. And, you know, ultimately, now that you kind of got through the fog and separated everything, it was, hey, that's what was missing. Like, now we're successful.
Yeah.
You know, and money's not everything.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have it to live, and, you know, you got to work hard to get it. But, I mean, other than that, it's just a tool. And we just got to keep our tools stacked up and clean. You know what I mean?
No, I get you on that, man. And that's a good analogy for that, man. You got to have that tool to live, man. But it's not always the most important thing.
No.
You know, because I mean, in our society today, Kurt, like a man is measured by how many zeros he has, or his material possessions. And me and Chase talk about this all the time. From what I've been through, I can't speak for y'all, but I don't care about how much money you had. If me and you were in a cell together and one plate sled, you know, went up under the door, I know I'm going to eat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right on.
I know I'm going to eat, buddy. And it's just, I know, but in society, your gauge, the status of a man is gauged by what materialistic things he can provide, you know.
Right.
And, you know, the older I've gotten, man, you know, of course, when you're in your 20s and even in my early, and really kind of, sounds old, but even my early 30s, you know.
It happens, brother.
You know, but, you know, you think of like, man, I just want to, you know, it's about money. Like I want to, you know, climb the ladder and amass this money that I can live how I want to live. And what you're just saying, the moments, life is not about working hard to having no life, to stack this amount of money to do what I want. Like life is to be lived
now,
in those today.
Yeah.
In those moments today. It's not like, let me kill myself for 20 years and then when I'm 50, if I get to 50,
Right.
Yeah.
if I get to tomorrow, whatever, to be able to live how I want to live, you know, and there's different thoughts and schools of thought on that, but it's taken me a lot that, you know, to appreciate the times I have. Like to, man, I'll be honest with y'all, I don't always like going to my mom's and cutting her grass, dude. You know?
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, being now, I have my mother.
Yep.
And I'm in the right mind that I can go and cut my mom's grass.
And there's no telling what that means to your mom.
Exactly.
That you're there.
I'm there and I'm present and like she cooked me lunch, showing up for people, you know, not showing up to, that's why I said, it's not people like, they want your, like, to give money. No. Like, to me, that's like the easiest way. Like, here's $20. Like, to me, it's like when somebody gives you their time, you don't get that back.
Right.
You know, and that's so much important to me when somebody sits down and is present with you and has a conversation with you. That means the world to me, man.
Well, most of it, too, is like, again, it's showing up for people because that means more to people than just giving them materialistic things, man. You know, like a lot of people, especially when you realize it in life, you know, it took me a long time to realize about, you know, spending time with people and like that matter. And it's like nowadays, you know, it's like mixing in with work and this and that. And it's like, I love how things are going, but then I have to really have my time where I'm like, okay, well, those things can wait.
Yep.
I have to have these moments of where, like, what really matters, because again, we keep stressing over we don't necessarily have, we might not have tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what's really got me is what we had a guy named Mike Jones on.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
Mike Jones,
Yeah.
dude.
And like, he does like a lot of stuff with, you know, people that don't have really anything, or
Go
in the jails.
You go
or,
and get to jails. Does jail
just
ministry.
people on the streets. And like, what he's learned is what matters the most is him showing up for those people.
Mm-hmm.
And like seeing people's faces like that. You know, it's not just coming and giving them things, but it's giving them time.
Yeah.
And like giving them advice and giving them, showing people that you actually care.
Right.
Yeah.
I read a thing the other day, and it said time is the only currency that you spend, and you have no idea what the balance is.
Yeah.
And you know, that's, if you really think about that, that's crazy. You know the balance of your checking account.
Yeah.
And like, if it gets low, you're not just gonna go spend 10 here, 10 here, 10 here.
Yeah.
But time is, you don't know.
Yeah.
And to spend your time willingly, givingly,
Yeah.
you know, freely, that speaks a lot. People respond to that.
Yeah.
You know, showing up's always been important to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have those people that show up.
Yeah.
And
no matter if it's cold or if it's raining, they're gonna be there.
And you know, those people don't come along. There's not a lot of them in your lifetime, but those people are special.
Yeah.
And it's because time is special.
Yeah.
Moments are special.
You know, and I tell, you know, Chase and I talk a lot, man, and I'll just say, you know, from my experience, man, it was just like those people that came and saw me when it was not very cool to come. The places I was in, let's just put it that way, was not very cool to come see me.
Right.
You know, and they came to those places and saw me. We at times there was not a lot to say. Not that everything kind of, you know, you're in where you're in,
No.
you know, but they were there. And, you know, it's exactly, it's people like that do show up when it's not the cool thing, or it's not the convenient thing. No. You know, everybody wants to come to a graduation and a success party, but nobody wants to be there at 9:30 at night on a Saturday. You know, after you just put in 70 hours of a huge something that you had to get something done. Like, they don't want to do those things.
Right.
And to me, that says a lot about a character as a man or a woman that are not only like willing to do that, but are saying like, it doesn't matter if you're here or if you're here. Like, we win together, we're going to lose together.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm a Christian. I believe Jesus Christ died for us, and you know, one day we'll go on.
Mm-hmm.
I think our culture has gotten so wrapped up in church, and you're either a Christian or you're not. Mm-hmm. Well, and I don't know about our culture necessarily, but Alabama, our area, you know, hey, what church do you go to? Hey, what church do you? Okay, like, I understand fellowship's important, but the bottom line is, like, you have to be good people.
Yeah.
And it's not hard. It's free to be a good person.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take money. Being good people, like, that's important.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that gets lost a lot of times in the dollars and the hustle. You know, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But like, what about so and so? What about this? What about that?
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't take anything to ride 2 blocks down and check on the old lady that lives in the house. You know, and that's being good people. That's small town living.
Yeah.
That I think is lost And you know, I don't know. It's life's precious, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
It really is, and like it'll beat you down, and
Real fast.
real fast.
Well, and that kind of going on what you were talking about just a second ago, Chris, is like you have a successful business. We've gone through different things, and like now we're running up our business. But it's funny where people that kind of see the other side, they're like, "Oh, must be nice." It's like, again, it's those 7 o'clock. It's on or 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. You didn't see where I was.
Right.
You didn't see where I came from. You didn't see how I struggled. You didn't see those late nights where I was sitting there freaking bawling my eyes out because I didn't know if I could do it or not.
Yeah.
And your payroll's due, and your rent's due, your machine payments due, and you're like, I don't know how these people are getting paid.
Yep.
If they're gonna come repossess this track hoe, or like,
Yeah.
and I have to have it Tuesday to do this job
so
that I've already
I can pay next week.
that I can pay next week or whatever. You know, they don't, and there's a lot of it, man. And and there is time. I understand, you know, balance, but there are times in your life, especially in business, like you're putting in those 80 hours. Dude.
Oh, and no doubt.
No, I mean, you know, and you're trying to take your time. Like, yeah, I got to take some time next week to kind of chill. But there are those times. It's crunch time, baby.
Well, and look,
You know,
and here's one thing. Instead of what I used to do was I would work till 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I'm up at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
If I got stuff that's got to be done,
Yeah.
my crew shows up at 8. So that gives me 4 solid hours that I can work on estimates. I can catch up.
Yeah.
And like I go to the gym. I try to go every day.
Yeah.
But like if there's business to be done, I'm not going to the
Nope.
gym. I'm gonna get up at 3 o'clock, get my cup of coffee, and I'm gonna crunch out and bust out what I gotta get done.
Yeah.
Because what's important to me is after work in the evening, I can have my family time.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
can relax and find those moments.
Yeah.
But you know, 3 to 6, that's still a haul of a day.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
and you know, I wouldn't say that I'm even working less than I was when I was struggling as much, but I've learned how to manage my time to work for me.
A lot better, a lot easier. I'll say it not easier, a lot more efficient. I guess
well,
is what
it
I'm
works
saying.
for my schedule
Yeah.
so that I can still have everything that's important to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I can still have the time in the evenings that I want. Because if I don't get up and I don't get this done, and I still take my time in the evenings, well, the business isn't going to succeed, and the business has to succeed because that's what I've been working for since 2018.
Yeah.
Just to have a successful
Yeah, that
business.
puts food on your table, man.
Right, and you know, feeds my family, it feeds multiple families.
Yeah, multiple families.
And you know, that in itself, being responsible for other people and making sure that needs are met, make that 3 o'clock easy. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely does. And I think Jordan Peterson said this, man. He's like, you know, how do you grow? And he's like, you put more responsibility on yourself. And there's times that it's going to break you, man. It will break you 1,000%. And not like I have all this life experience, did all these things, but you know, the more responsibility we've said yes to a lot of things. And I looked at Chase, I was like, I don't even know how to do, like how this is even going to get done, where you need to start. But you know, in that time, man, and messing things up, dude, losing your tail on a job.
Yep.
It's just those.
You won't do that twice, though.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
No, you're
it
not.
takes that one time.
Yeah.
It's those moments where what's that breaking point and how do you prevail from it?
Yeah.
And that's where like me and Chris, I think we push ourselves enough now. It's like okay, like sometimes you gotta ease up on yourself too. But where can I get to this point? Like I'm like, dude, I can't even think anymore. Like I can't think. And I've learned now it's on those jobs. Like I'm like, dude, I can't. Like I'm so mentally strained. I can't. Like we just gotta go.
Yep.
Like this can be done tomorrow.
Yep.
Like I know we said we could get this done, but this happened. and I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
or else I'm gonna freak out. Nobody's gonna like me.
You're gonna be bent over on the counter crying.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
ready to quit.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
like I'm not. Sometimes I'm not even just physically, but like that mental makes you physically just like
Yeah.
you're just like I can't. I'm tired. Like I can't. But you gotta. But those moments, there's sometimes it's like you see the light, so you push, and there's sometimes where we have to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're like, and that's what makes or breaks you. But that's where
Yeah.
you learn your true self and how you keep going.
Yep.
There's some moments where you can't. You're just like, I'm done. Like I'm
Yeah.
done, man.
And and like you said, like we still put in the 80 hours. When there's stuff that has to be done, like you have to do it. Like
Yeah.
there's not a question.
Yeah.
But like when you're pushing yourself past the have tos to the wants, on the business side.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want to go ahead and get this done and this done, and you're pushing yourself further, even though that could be done tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like that's the point. That's what I found was, I was working on stuff for next week and the week after
Yeah.
at 10 o'clock at night. Well, tomorrow's set, the rest of the week's set. Like, let these people know, hey, it'll be Monday, and then stretch that out over a few days. Get what you need done in a timely manner, not killing yourself. And that, I think, as a small business, getting those jobs lined up, getting those estimates out, that's important because that's your lifeline. That's what keeps the work flowing. But at the same time, like if you have more work lined up than you can do in a month, and you still have estimates that you have to get out, you have to tell these people, hey, I'm 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
I'll get your estimate worked up next week after. Be patient with me. And if that's not good, I found this. If that's not good enough for them, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
The next person will call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes back to faith. You got to have faith. There's weeks, and you guys know this. There's weeks where you're like, we ain't gonna make it.
We ain't gonna make this, bro.
1 + 500 don't equal 2. Like we're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in trouble,
But
man.
it works.
Yeah.
You got to have faith that it'll work, and it will as long as you put in the effort.
Yeah.
And nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy.
No, it definitely don't come easy. Well, if there is an easy way, it definitely
Somebody please tell us.
Please tell me.
We're all listening.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
At the same time, I don't necessarily want it to be easy because,
No.
like, that's where we've all heard.
That's
it's
why
like
we
if,
do this.
Yeah, it's everybody. If it was so easy, everybody would do it.
If it was easy, we'd be at the 9 to 5 doing it easy like everybody else.
And I've learned. Chris has kind of worked with me now, and he's met the people I've worked with over the years. Like, I'm not built for that 9 to 5, man.
And look, I worked in the plant for 11 years, and I was a production supervisor when I left. Learned, I started there when I was 19 or 20, worked there 11 years. I was 19 when I started there, so, I learned how to work in this plant, and over those 11 years I grew, I learned skills and trades, and grateful for it. I wouldn't be who I am today without it. But also the last 5 years there, I knew in 10 or 15 years, I can't be doing this.
Yeah.
Like being in one place doing the same thing. And I do the same thing relatively every day now.
Yeah.
But I do it for me.
Yeah.
I do it for my family, the families that work for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it for somebody that I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it makes
to make their stock price go up.
right. I don't want my stock price.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like the contractors we work for now. Most of them I've worked with or for and stuff. So like being on jobs and things like that. Not to like really talk about me, but it feels good because they're like, you'll get questions like, how did you get into this? And one of my old bosses, Brandon, he runs their own company now, a little distributing cabinet company. And like, he's like, well, Chase used to work for me. Now he works for himself, you know. So and it's a cool thing. It's like, because even in my mind when I'm doubting myself, I'm like, okay, I'm really doing it.
Yep.
You know, like you know, you get there's little voices inside your head. You're like, okay, like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. It's like, no, dude, you're doing the right thing. You're doing it perfectly.
And you know, and that's what you just said kind of caught me too. So your boss, your old boss, was like, hey, he worked for me. He's killing it now.
Yeah.
What you're doing is testimony for him that what he's doing is working.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I've had people work for me that worked for me for a little while and gone on and they're doing good. To see somebody advance and take what they learned, didn't learn, you know, the goods, the bads, but apply that to their life to make it work for them, to be better, to make them better.
Yeah.
And you'll experience that when you hire people and when you bring people on and you get the go-getters and they stay a little while and then they go on and start their own business, you're rooting for them.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
man.
you know, you're part of the family. Like,
You need anything,
kill
call
it.
him.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And like, that's where, like, it's like, too, I love that factor, because through my addiction, I felt, man, I was so lost, but at the same time, like, whenever I had to take time for myself and like my mindset over that time, I was like, man, I screwed everything up. I messed everything up with these people.
Right.
Man, dude, it was the craziest thing. Like, I'm sitting there having a moment to myself. It's like a week before we're even like getting out of the farm, and you know, I'm like talking to God. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, when am I gonna go work at these factories? They help you get into this and that. I'm like, man, I really want to get back into what I was doing, and I want to be better at it. I was good at it, but I want to be great at it.
Yep.
And man, it's funny how God kind of listens, and especially when you're being very, very like
Sincere,
honest.
Yeah.
And man, we got our phones back, and it wasn't even a day later, dude. I had work before I even freaking got out.
Man, hey, Bible says He knows the desires of our heart.
Yeah,
and
and then it just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. I taught Chris how to freaking doing what he was doing pretty much. He was wanting to, but I was like, dude, just come on.
Yep.
Like, I need you. You know what I mean? I need you. And you're miserable, man. Let's go freaking get this.
Yep.
Let's go get it, man. And I'm glad he made a decision. You know,
and it's not always easy.
No,
and it's not always hard.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a life that, being self-employed is a life that is for few. Mm-hmm. But if you can handle it, if you can dig in and you can, you know, manage your time, manage your moments, run your business like good people, you know, put out quality work and care about what you're doing, not on just a work platform, but on a life platform. People see that. People know that.
yeah.
And you know, I'm blessed to have the business I have. I have clients that I work for that I've never even met other than a phone call, working for them for years. And it's just your reputation, your craftsmanship speaks for itself over a period of time, to the point that, you know, when somebody hears about your business, your skill, it doesn't matter. Hey, so and so told me about you. I need you to do this, and that's it. You know, and a business begins. You know?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Well, man, I don't really have much more, Kurt. I mean, unless you have any more you want to share, buddy.
I mean, I've enjoyed this. This has been nice for real.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah,
we appreciate you, dude.
For sure.
We love you, man.
Yep. I love you guys.
Part of the family, for real, dude. We appreciate your support, man.
Always.
On all fronts, dude. We really do, because, you know, we're in this together at the end of the day.
Yep.
You know, Me and Chase say it all the time, man. I just want people to do good, bro.
Yep, that's it.
And I don't care
Just
what
win.
it is. I don't care if it's you sell rocks for a living. You know,
Be good at it.
be
you
good.
know?
Like I hope you do
What you
good.
got?
Yeah, dude. I don't care what you do,
What's that?
man.
Have you ever seen that Kill Tony and the
Like
guy?
Cam Patterson.
Yeah, he's
I like rocks.
He's like, I ain't retarded enough, but I like rocks.
You
He's
know?
like,
Yeah, I got a rock right now.
yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. You know, but yeah, absolutely. But yeah, thanks for sitting down, taking time.
Yep, absolutely.
We do, man.
It's my
That's all. I
pleasure.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, man.
We got to get out of Birmingham for a minute. You know,
I know that's right.
hustle and bustle down there.
Yeah, you ever need to slow down, y'all come up here.
Oh,
dude.
buddy.
Yeah, that's why I go to my
Does
mom
that.
sometimes.
Hey, come on. I'll
Yeah.
put you to work too.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
yeah.
Hey,
So we
man,
do.
and that's the last thing I'll say is like, if you do something you enjoy, you thoroughly enjoy, man. Like there's some days, yeah, you're like, again, we've all been there. It's like, I don't know. But then you get questions answered, and then, it's that, when you take that time to really realize, like, okay, like, this is for me, then it's not work anymore.
You know, and when you're doing something you enjoy, it's easy to give it 100%.
Yeah.
And when you give something 100%, at the end of the day, for me personally, I sleep good every night.
Yeah,
knowing
absolutely.
that it doesn't matter if I was installing a toilet, hanging a curtain, cutting grass, building bunk beds. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna give it the absolute best I got.
Yeah.
And when I get home and when I lay down, like, I don't have anything to worry about. Like, I'm like, I killed it.
Yeah,
You know?
I did the best I knew how to do.
And
period.
Like, I can't do any better.
Yeah.
My job is complete.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Right on.
Yeah, dude.
Well, show them some love,
Yeah.
people.
Yep.
Absolutely show them some love, man. Hey, you gonna plug your business real fast?
Yeah, Pro Lake Services. We're out on Smith Lake. We manage vacation rentals, house cleanings, and handyman service. Anywhere on Smith Lake. We go from Good Hope to Houston, Double Springs. So if you need anything, look us up on Facebook. Professional Lake Services. We'll hook you up.
Yeah, they will hook you up.
Good people.
Yeah, good people. Great people.